The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and he missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
It feels like it comes straight out of a Stephen King novel, the small town of Oxford, Maine. But this quiet village will be noisy today because a field of rumbling SK Modifieds and the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series have come to the Oxford Plains Speedway for round 2 in this 10-race schedule. Powered by the Bootleg Racing League, all the action from Pace Lap to Victory Donuts will be brought to you live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. So pull that lobster out of the boiling pot, grab a cold Moxie Cream soda from the fridge, put on the bib, put up your feet, and enjoy the 100 laps of simulated short track action that will be streaming your way. From the Pine Tree State, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm your host, Bill Soups On, sliding over into the color commentator's chair for yet another round, born in the infield of a northeastern short track, the one and only Sean Crackers Ambrose. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is the hardest working man in sim racing broadcasting, Joe Peak, and at his disposal will be the camera locations provided by the Ansel Adams of iRacing, Dougie Beard. Well, last week, the 9th edition of the Lawrence Towing Outlaws Modified Series got underway. The series' new title sponsor, Lawrence Towing, has got to be happy with the show these bootleggers put on in the opening round from Martinsville. Brian Neff went wire to wire for the win, and Lowell Flawless Jewel lived up to his nickname, fending off Donnie Moore's attack late in the race to earn second place points. Sean, we move from a track, Martinsville, that almost everybody knows to one considerably less famous.
Considerably less famous indeed, but been here just as long. They put this track up in 1950. Started out as a half-mile track, and then they shortened it to a 3/8 mile track. But, man, we're traveling all the way up the coast here to Oxford, Maine, and right in the perfect time of year to have a race right now. 4 glorious turns. Very, very tricky track here. 9 degrees of banking. It's not the banking that's on the track. It's the banking that rolls off the track that you've got to watch out for here. There's a lot of runoff. There's a lot of good areas for a yard sale or a picnic. Take your choice. But I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at it from a driver's standpoint. Let's hop into the GSRC SK Modified and take a couple laps around the old Oxford Plains Speedway.
Hello, I'm James Merhula in the Global Sim Racing Channel Modified. I'm going to take you for a lap around the Oxford Plains Speedway. This is a tricky little 3/8 mile speedway. Something that's going to be very interesting here is how the track drives. You never really are going straight here. You just turn a little bit less when you get onto the straightaways. You're also going to have that curb down there on the bottom, just looking to get the car upset as well. And look, we don't have outside retaining walls out here either, so even though that the wall won't be as much of a danger, you do not want to go flying over that embankment at a high rate of speed. Keeping the car low and trying to get a good run off of the corners and try and duck down below your competition will be key to try and making up positions here. But we might see a good chrome bumper. And those are your laps around the Oxford Plains Speedway.
There's a recorded lap around this 3/8 mile ellipse, but to get an idea of what the track is like right at this very moment, let's see if Sean can get a hold of Matt Hoos in the number 21 AMSOIL machine.
And yes, I have caught up with my old friend Matt Hoos. Matt, welcome back to the booth, my friend. How do you feel tonight?
Oh, okay. Had a couple good races so far. I started at the rear of both of those and got up to near the top 5. So see if we can't do the same in this race tonight.
So you got 200 laps in the books this evening, and we're getting ready to start another 100 laps here to end out the evening. The pinnacle of the evening, the SK Modified. How's the car feel out here tonight? Track temp's a little warm. I think it's 94 degrees. A little slick out there.
Yeah, it's actually causing the front end to slide a little bit for me anyhow. So I'm having to slow down a little bit in the center to keep it on the bottom, which is the only way around here. If you come up off the bottom, you're going to be going to the rear.
And you got to probably worry about somebody bringing a little bit of dirt back up on the track, because we talked about the runoff areas here. Plenty of places to get offline and off the track surface. You think maybe that might be something to contend with at some point tonight?
Well, I'm not sure. The last race, we went 100 laps green, and nobody got off track. Everything was all good. So hopefully this race goes the same way.
Matt, I got to ask you real quick, because I happen to know what you do for a living. What is it like to get off the governed highways of America and into an SK Modified on a Saturday night? How do you make that transition, man?
This is a lot of fun. It's something that we've done for, I've been doing this sim racing stuff for 15, 20 years or whatever, but it's just something I look forward to every week, and with this group of guys, and the racing we've been having lately is pretty good.
Well, we certainly enjoy your passion for the league and for the sport here on iRacing. Thank you for coming in once again. Have a great run tonight, man. We wish you the best.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hopefully we have a good race. Thanks.
All right, guys, that was Matt Hoos, driver of the number 21 AMSOIL machine. That interview was brought to us by Lawrence Towing. They service Indianapolis, Indiana, and the surrounding areas. Contact them at 317-972-9651. If you find yourself in need of a tow, Lawrence Towing is the way to go, Sue.
Okay, nice interview there from Matt Hoos. Let's wish him good luck today. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings. To be honest, after only one race and without any major penalties, pretty much this will be a review of the Martinsville finishing order. As we said in the intro, now Brian Neff earned the 14 points for winning. Low Flawless Jewel, Donnie Moore, Jeff Razor Sharp, and Tim Knott followed 1 point behind each other. Now, as we noted in the broadcast, Lucas Stinziano finished in the prize 10th spot in the last race, which had everybody at the last Backmarker United meeting very excited, because Lucas was scheduled to start on the pole, but unfortunately for Lucas and everybody at the meeting, he's not here today. So that means the pole position is going to go to Benjamin Wolfson, who is here, who finished in 9th. Now, Lucas is not able to carry that 10th position, that pole position over. So if you don't use it, you lose it. So we won't see him on the pole next race either. So keep an eye on Benjamin Wolfson. Remember, this series uses the inverted grid. You start, they take the 10th position from the last race, put them on the pole. So Sean, we've talked about the track, we talked about the point standings. Let's take a second to talk about tonight's race-specific details.
Well, first, let's talk about what we're running. We're running the SK Modified, not the Tour, the SK. A little bit shorter wheelbase, a little bit smaller tire, but certainly a lot of power. And they're going to have a lot here tonight on this 3/8 mile course. Fixed setup, everybody running the same set. It comes down to the driver here. We are going to invert the top 10 from last week. Now, because Stinziano's not here, it looks like Neff is going to be starting back there in 9th, probably. So our winner from last week going to have a lot of work to do to get to the front. 100 laps. This will be the last 100 of the evening. They already ran the super late models and the limited late models. 100 laps each here at Oxford Plains. No, the fast repairs, they do get one, but they can't get that car up on the jack. No tire changes allowed. They'll start with 100% fuel. That's plenty to get to the end of the way here. No cap on incidents. Single file restarts if we get to them. We didn't see one last week. Yeah, we get that single file restart. Now, the weather this evening, it is the dynamic weather. I did talk about the temperature on the track. Pretty warm out there right now. It is 94 degrees on the track, 84 degrees ambient temperature. Really beautiful day here at Oxford Plains, to be honest with you. I think we've got a pretty good race in store for us here. The field is filling out, and Bill, I look for an exciting one here tonight. This is a fun track. The 9 degrees of banking here, not a lot to get to get it done. It's kind of a wide track, but the groove is it's very small here.
Let me tell you, I talked about the quiet town of Oxford, Maine. I just had to go into my mixer here where we have the ability to change the volume levels on each of our software that we use. We just did a road course race at Sebring, and now I'm here, and my goodness, Sean, the volume that these SK modifies put out, when I first started to talk, it was this blowing me out. So this must be, I bet you they can hear this all the way through the town of Oxford. These guys are loud.
I'm going to be honest with you. The town I'm from, the little old Riverhead, New York, you can hear old Riverhead Raceway since 1949. You can hear it in every part of Riverhead and the surrounding towns, no matter where you are. When they start rumbling on Saturday night, you can hear it, especially the modifieds. They have just kind of a unique grunt to them. Again, a lot of horsepower on these short wheel-based open wheel cars.
I've actually raced in this series on this track. It was a learning experience, let me put it that way. First of all, let's talk two things. There is no real straightaway here. It seems like you are constantly cranking the wheel to the left. And then one of the things that I use is I find a braking point or a turning point from an outside wall, and they don't have them here.
Yeah, it is a little tough to judge when you don't have a wall to kind of use as a reference point. The lack of any barrier here in the turns make this track very unique in that way. Now, it also gives you an opportunity to save the car. That could be your friend as well. Really, the fast groove around here, the shortest distance around this track is obviously the inside, and that's really where you're going to see guys get it done tonight. Certainly, if you can get a little bit of help up top and get a little run, maybe a little nudge from your partner behind you, you might be able to make a good, strong run off of one of these turns. But like I said, look for them to be battling down on the inside now. One of the other things about this track, about battling down inside, as you see there on screen, there's a little strip of asphalt there, a little rumble strip, if you will, a little berm. You don't want to get off on the other side of that. That really will cause trouble for the car and probably get you in a position. Well, we have a friend in another series, Mr. Flanagan. He's wrong way Flanagan. You don't want to be pointing the wrong way here. I can tell you that. It's a 3/8 mile track. They're going to be on top of you all night.
Now, I can understand that they didn't want to put walls up. That's fine. And I'm surprised that it affected me so much. I do 95% of my racing on road courses where they don't have walls out there anyway. But somehow on an oval, it just seemed wrong to me. But Sean, would it be too much to ask for them to actually, I will donate the can of paint if they need it, to actually paint a start-finish line on the track? Am I wrong? Is there nothing down there?
Bill, again, this track's been here a long time. I think the people of Oxford are happy with the things just the way they are. It's a throwback to another time, if you will.
Well, I certainly hope we have a photo finish today, and they'll teach them a lesson. Because come on, I spent a good 5 minutes trying to figure out where I wanted to sit to call this thing. Until I finished, they didn't have a start-finish line on there. All right, I got it now. I am done. I am done complaining.
Did you see the cameras they're making us use here? They're 8mm, I believe. Yeah, seriously.
Are they color? Are we in color?
Oh yes, we're always in Technicolor.
Okay, right.
We're always in Technicolor. 8mm Technicolor, sir.
All right, I believe we have. I apologize. I love the town of Oxford. I'd like to stay there. I just don't. I just have a bad attitude about this track, but it's not going to carry over into the broadcast. I'm going to be positive now. All right,
okay.
Let's go ahead and call the grid. Now, I'm surprised here. I was thinking that I was going to see Wolfson up higher, but I don't see him. Am I looking at John Holcomb on the grid? Okay, this looks... Okay, Sean, let's go on the front row. It's going to be John Holcomb. Now, outside of him, of row 1, it's going to be Joe Marks.
And we got Timmy Knott there in row 2 on the inside. Jeff Sharp going to start 4th on the outside.
Donnie Moore, who followed the last half of the race behind Lowell Jewell at Martinsville, will be starting in row 3.
All right, and there we go. They've got Brian Neff. He's going to start in 7th on the inside. Chip Dicker on the outside. Chip, one of the new guys to the league, starts 8th tonight.
Mike Holloway, one of my favorites. Look for him to do well today. And Matt Hoos, our pre-race interview, starting in 10th.
And then we got Mike Mahoney starting 11th on the inside there to number 45. J.R. Shepard going to start on the outside in 12th.
Ralph Connor, Philip Temples, and Chris Wolfson round out the back of the pack. As they come around, we'll go around one more time. 15 cars, 15 names on the grid. Keep an eye on the guy out front now.
Doesn't take long to get around here, Bill.
It sure doesn't. John Holcomb in the number 68 machine. Sorry, that's 69. Pace car pulls in. Holcomb on the inside will pace the field. Joe Marks on the outside. Marks gets a good run. Going to try to make that high side work. I don't know if it's going to happen. Now Marks trying to look for somewhere to get back down. He's not going to be able to find it in front of the 41.
No, Tim Knott. Yeah, Tim Knott really strong on the inside. But that Lawrence towing machine is out front. John Holcomb having a really nice run to get this race started. A lot of patience here throughout the field right now, Bill.
Donnie Moore on the inside trying to keep poor Joe Marks. He had the second spot. There's room now, Joe. Are you going to duck down in there? No, he's not. Brian Neff says not yet. Marks still stuck on the high side.
And here's Neff making an early charge, already up from 7th into 4th. Working on Donnie Moore. Well, those two have fought before. That's going to be fun early on in this race.
Marks had to be excited to be starting on the front row, but he continues to get freight trained as Holloway gets around him. And Matt Hoos, Marks up on the high side with Jeff Sharp behind him. And now the 98 machine of J.R. Shepard going to try to keep the sheep high. Sharp, Mark, finally able to duck down in. Joe Marks gets in there in 8th position behind J.R. Shepard. Your leader remains John Holcomb.
Jeff Sharp still caught up on the outside, Bill. He cannot find an open door to slip into. Lowell Jewell down to the inside of him now. Sharp still trying to hang on. He is just losing laps every time around here. Oh, so close to the 45. Inside of it there, Mike Mahoney. Sharp still stuck up there.
Sharp's got to be saying, "Come on, guys! You let Marks in front. Give me a spot." And I think he'll finally find a spot as he runs out of cars to get around him now. As Jeff Sharp finally drops in 12th position, just ahead of Chip Dickert there and Ralph Connor running 13th and 14th.
Man, this battle for second place right now is heating up. Donnie Moore really, really working on the bumper of Tim Knott. Brian Neff back there in 4th, really trying to be patient, not trying to put the horn there to Donnie, but it's really tough. They seem to be getting checked up every lap, and it's been exciting to watch. But Holcomb having a really good drive up there in first right now. The Lawrence Towing SK Modified showing the way to this field here now, lap 11.
Donnie Moore in a familiar position. He spent most of the first half of the race at Martinsville running back behind some guys. Finally ended up finishing third when he couldn't get around Lowell Jewell. And now he's in the same position again with Tim Knott. You may have to give Tim a little bit of encouragement there to open up the inside in that 41 machine.
Boy, that looks like the only way he might be able to get it done right now, because that's exactly what Tim did in the super late model races. He kept it right down there on that low groove and didn't make any mistakes. And we talked about it with Matt there, how tough it was to get around him. So yeah, Tim playing good defense right now. But the question is, how long does Donnie play that game with him? It's still very early in this race. We're going to be working on lap 15 next time by here. So, I guess you've got to be patient for a little while. But how long, again, can you play that game? I don't know. We'll see how patient Donnie is here.
Well, Brian Neff running in fourth, Mike Holloway, Matt Hoos, J.R. Shepard, all running back. They're being held up. I think they'd like Donnie Moore maybe to do their dirty work and see if they can give Tim Knott a little bit of a help to get him up on the high side. Boy, he is close. Honestly, though, now look at this. Running away was John Holcomb, but now Tim Knott is beginning to run them down. Holcomb really had opened it up, but look at this, Sean.
Yeah, Tim's getting on it now. He's getting a little bit of pressure from Donnie. Neff putting a little bit of pressure to Donnie Moore. Then he has to back off.
If I didn't know better, I would actually think that Knopf was running a little faster race thanks to a little bit of a bump he was getting from Donnie Moore. They have really closed up on Tim Knott. The car, maybe the tires went away from him awfully early. It's only lap 18, but it looked like John was going to be able to get away, but Tim either has caught his rhythm or John has lost the handle.
Well, no, I talked about it in the pre-race here. You get a little nudge from the guy behind you. It'll give you a little bit of momentum, especially off of the turn. You maybe get a little bit of help there, but Holcomb trying not to overdrive the car. He's got to be on point here. He can't make any mistakes. Tim is really starting to close the gap.
Donnie Moore starts to drift a little bit high in third position there, and had an idea was Brian Neff thought he might be able to duck in and take that third spot, but thought better of it. I think everyone pretty comfortable where they are right now as they work lap 21. And Donnie Moore may actually help Tim. Oh, there's a nice bump. Talk about a little help. How about a little push from
we got to
Brian
go around.
Neff
That's Matt Hoos. Matt Hoos is around. Might have gotten a little bit of help. Trying to see here.
No, I think it was all the accordion effect that happened from that bump there. Who's finally got turned around. I think it was Philip Temples that got into him, but it really wasn't his fault.
Yeah, Matt had to check up, and he caught the car in front of him. That was Mike Holloway. He caught the rear bumper of Holloway, and unfortunately, nowhere to go there. And poor Hoos gets spun around there, and going to have a little bit of work to do.
Let me correct myself. It was not Temples. I hate to give the blame to where it doesn't belong. It was the car number 98, J.R. Shepard. Not that there was any blame to be had there because Hoos was already halfway turned around as they got up into that little chain reaction there. You heard me talk about it. It all started up front there with Tim Knott and getting into a little bit of a battle with Brian Neff and Donnie Moore. And this kind of worked its way all the way back to the back.
Well, we got a caution flag in this one. And, just a quick update on Chris Wolfson. I think he had maybe just some slight connection issues. He is now a lap down. Spent some time off the track.
And maybe that's why he decided to start from the back rather than start up front on the pole position and maybe ruin somebody else's race. You know what we can do? Oxford has been one of the few tracks that this series has visited 8 times. Everybody's been to this race before. Donnie Moore has 2 wins. Maybe we can bring up those past champions real quick here before they go green again. There you go. Look at that there. That's the Outlaw Modified Series previous winners there from Oxford. And you can see Donnie Moore won the first 2 races. Nobody else, Sean, has a more than 1 win.
No, they don't. But Lowell Jewell got one back here in spring 2015. And, Matt Hoos, our pre-race interview, I had good hopes for him. He won back here earlier this year, and thought maybe he had a chance this evening. He's going to have a lot of work to do to get it done at this point. But Philip Temple's another winner here previously. He could find his way in the mix. We'll see. But yeah, this is littered with champions. But Donnie certainly knows his way around this track. He's sitting in a pretty good spot right now. Question is, will he be able to get around Tim Knott? Tim is not looked too willing to give that spot up early on.
And just to follow up on that, your previous winners, you got Jewel running back there in 8th position right now, and Temple's in 9th as the pace car is coming in. And they're going green one more time. John Holcomb leads them into the first corner. Tim Knott behind him. Now let's see if Holcomb's able to pull away like he did at the beginning of the race. Maybe those tires have cooled down a bit. Maybe he'll feel comfortable. Tim Knott in second. Donnie Moore, Brian Neff, Mike Holloway, J.R. Shepherd.
Not a bad start for Holcomb. He gets off to a good one, but Tim Knott getting a really good run into 3 on him. Able to really close the gap there. Boy, this is going to be a great race, Bill, as they scream back across the start-finish line. Out of 2. Holcomb just throttling it. Now he's got some lap traffic in front of him. Ralph Connor going to be coming up quick. Ralph's going to have a couple of decisions to make here as the field gets ready to pass him by.
And this is another thing that I'll tell you is really weird. Since there is no outside wall when you try, and trust me, I spent a lot of time trying to get out of the way of people, it's really hard to gauge where you are on the track if there is no barrier to the right. You just kind of hope you don't put it off in the dirt. Let's see what he can do. Ralph Connor in that number 9 machine. Good luck to you, Ralph. I feel for you.
Yeah, and Ralph must have had a little bit of trouble on that restart. Gets off to a bit of a slow one there, and the field is, like I said, going to catch him here pretty quick. Tim not looking that aggressive yet. He's kind of backed off a bit. Donnie Moore, though, is starting to put the heat on him just a bit there, coming out of 4. Brian Neff is lying in wait right now. I've got a feeling he's going to let this battle in front of him develop and look for a chance to pounce any moment.
We've crossed the 1/3 mark as the drivers work on lap 34 right now of 100. Holcomb out in front as they begin to close up on the lap car of Ralph Connor. Connor trying to get comfortable right now. You can see him starting to get comfortable on that outside line, actually preparing for what he's going to need to do. John Holcomb leading the way. Everybody's single file, Sean, all the way back. Nobody's making a move. Everyone happy to stay in line right now.
Right now, yes.
I don't know. Well, maybe not happy. Maybe they're resigned to have to do that so far.
Well, you know what? This is a very patient crowd, a very talented, skilled group of drivers. And, Mike Holloway with a little trouble back there. Opens the door for J.R. Shepherd. Shepherd gets under him. Ooh, Holloway had a little trouble back there in turn 2, and J.R. Shepherd able to make that work for him, and now he's looking to reel in Brian Neff. Brian Neff still working on Donnie Moore up there.
There's one of the few on-track passes that we've seen so far, other than at the beginning when a few of the drivers like Joe Marks was caught on the high side. Talking about the high side, that's where Ralph Connor's going to want to put that car right now, as here comes the entire field up behind him. There's about 13 of them, Ralph. John Holcomb looks like Ralph's got a good line up there. I don't think there's going to be a problem. As there goes Holcomb first. Not looking for a way around there. Moore. Brian Neff behind him. Everybody still hanging in line.
Oh, Neff got really close to Donnie there, maybe. Just a little bump.
Yeah, this is not really the time when you want to be pushing somebody to the high side when there is no high side. That belongs to Ralph Connor right now, who's doing a good job of letting the guys around him. Ralph, we will save you one of those special bear claws at the next Backmarket United meeting. I know those are prized when we get there, so there's one for you. Keep it up. J.R. Shepherd around him now in 5th position.
I will tell you that, you know what, you can do a little bit of that in the SK Modified, that chrome horn. If you use it just right, you can have a little bit of fun. And Donnie Moore and Brian F., they've been racing together for a very long time. Tim Knott, for that matter, too. Those three are very familiar with each other. So trust me, everything that's happening out there is by design right now. Nobody wants to get wrecked up here. We still got half a race to go, and there's a lot at stake here in race number 2 of the season.
Well, nobody knows big picture racing better than Donnie Moore, who lost the championship because of one non-top 10 finish early in the season that cost him. So he's coming off a 3rd place at Martinsville, so another 3rd place up here would really suit him well in the points. And what Donnie Moore likes to do, it looks like he likes to get in the back of Tim Knott, and like you said, Sean, he likes to give him a little bit of a push.
Yeah, and I think that's what Tim's going to need to catch John right now, because John's rock solid, man. The Lawrence Towing SK Modified is it's on rails right now. I mean, he is really pulling off a good drive here. John must have put in some good quality laps this week and got himself prepped up and ready to run this race, because he looks like he owns this joint right now.
Top 5 drivers beginning to pull away a little bit. We saw Mike Holloway have that trouble. He's running all by himself in 6th. Joe Marks, Philip Temples running in 7th and 8th. Then you get back to 3 more cars in the back. Look, Lowell Jewell has lost touch there with Phillips Temples a bit. Jewell running in 9th. Jeff Sharp in 10th. Matt Hoos in 11th.
Boy, I'm really enjoying this battle up front. It's like this volcano just in its early stages.
Yep.
Getting ready to erupt at any moment.
Well, they've made it to the halfway mark with only 1 yellow flag. And that means there has not been many yellow flags this season in this race. They're doing this series. Holcomb up in front still, but now they begin to close the gap a little bit on them. I think something's going to happen. We talked about the volcano. I think it's going to happen soon. Let's look back at 9th position. Lowell Jewell's having a hard time keeping that car down. Look for Jeff Sharp to make a move on him pretty soon. Lowell's starting to drift the car up.
Yeah, and that could be just, overdriving the car a little bit, trying to keep those guys behind you. Oh, Lowell is really up the track now and caught up there on the outside. Not a good place to be. Everybody getting by. Again, Lowell probably just driving the car a little bit too hard. Those tires starting to go away early at the halfway point of this race. Ooh, Lowell lost a bunch of positions there. He has now slid back to 11th place. Able to get back in line, though, Bill. So, okay now, but he's going to have to take a little bit better care of the tires there.
Former champion. Trying to see if he can recapture some of the magic he had a few seasons ago.
Got a battle to the inside. Yeah, Donnie Moore.
I thought Donnie was going to get... I don't think he's done yet. I think he's got the feel.
He took a peek down there. He thought he had a run on him going into 1.
Donnie, you and me, I think all 3 of us thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, he tried to put it in there, and he thought better of it. I'll tell you what, J.R. Shepard is really stalking Brian Neff right now. Shepard starting to turn in some really, really good laps, and Neff, I don't know, I can't imagine he's been overdriving the car, but he's had a couple of issues here over the last several laps.
And back in 6th position, we talked about Holloway being all by himself. Well, he's caught back up to this lead group now. So I got a hunch that Tim Knott, I really don't want to put the blame on him, because look at the pace he's keeping on Holcomb. I think those guys up in front are running nicely. I think the fastest 2 cars might be Donnie Moore and Brian Neff. And honestly, I think if Donnie doesn't make the move pretty soon, I got a hunch Brian Neff may help him decide to make the move. Brian gets right up behind him.
Yeah, Neff was looking there.
Donnie Moore in a tough position. He's trying to be patient to get around Tim Knott, but he's got Brian Neff behind him, who's just about ran out of patience. He's on his last nerve right now. Time's running out.
Hey, it is. Here we are going to get ready to work lap 63. And we talked about the time it takes to get around this track, just over 15 seconds. This is an adventure in G's, an adventure in G-forces. You talked about the lack of any real straightaway. Think about what these drivers are feeling right now after constantly just cranking that wheel to the left here, trying to keep it down in that low groove.
When I race here, what I like to do is I put a couple 2x4s on the left side of my racing rig, so it's kind of tilted that way to give me the feel of always having to lean in. And look, there we go, Brian Neff back there. Look at this 4-car battle. J.R. Shepard, another guy in that blue number 98 machine, would like to get things going here.
Yeah, Holcomb opening things up just a little bit. They better get busy here. They better get busy quick.
Shepard running that 98 machine. I grew up at Ascot Park, and that was J.C. Agajanian. He always took a car to Indianapolis. They ran the 98. Takes me back to when I'd go short sea surf track racing with my dad. Look at those 4 cars up there right now. Knott, Moore, Neff, and Shepard. They are nose to tail.
Ooh, J.R. Shepard got a run on Brian Neff right there. Yeah, here we go. Tell you what, Tim Knott doing a really good job in second place, but I just got to wonder, you talked about Donnie Moore and Neff being the fastest cars on the track. Donnie Moore is, he's been solid, and he's going to have to make something happen here pretty soon because we're running out of time, only 30 laps left to go.
I'm telling you, these two-dimensional fans, when they come to watch a Bootleg Racing League, they know to get their hot dog and Coke early because these things can run quickly, and that's what's happening right now. Sean and I barely caught our breath, and we are working on the last third of this race. John Holcomb out in front by 0.6 of a second. Tim Knott has been the same position all the way through as these guys. Not a lot of passing going on. All the way through the field, everyone running single file.
Would you almost say he's got them all knotted up?
Oh. Yes, I guess you could say that.
Donnie, again, it just keeps getting ever so close to the bumper and Tim Knott. And then Neff is right back there having to battle the same way behind Donnie Moore. You wonder when this is going to erupt. I got to imagine anytime soon here. It's just this race starts to just go away from us. But you know what? Got some battling back here in the field. Joe Marks on the inside. Philip Temple's on the outside. Phil was trying to get a position away there from Joe. Those two are still battling.
Temple's trying to say as he's trying to look to the inside. Marks had that inside line so close down. Temple says, all right, let's see what this high side can do. But it's just not going to work. You're going to need a little bit of help. As we work on 25 to go now. Holcomb out in front. Tim Knott right behind. Donnie Moore is behind Knott. And Brian has had just about enough back there as he's looking to try to get around you. I don't know how much more he can take. J.R. Shepard trying to figure out a way around. Honestly, I do not want to be Tim Knott. I think it's only a matter of time before Donnie says, you got to go. And there's a little bit of a bump right there.
Donnie's certainly starting to put the pressure on him. Ooh, Neff getting a little bit of pressure from J.R. Shepard now. Shepard laying the horn to him there just a little bit as they got off the turn.
And there's another bump from Moore, and look what it does. He gives the bump to Knott. You can see that Knott really shoots off. It's a little bit of both. Moore loses ground and Knott gains ground. Moore starting to force the issue now. He lost some ground because he's just trying to figure out, I think, Sean, he's trying to figure out how hard he can hit Tim Knott without putting him out into the dirt.
Well, putting him out into the dirt might be an option here. Last couple laps of this race. We'll see as they continue to just press on here. But, Bill, we've got less than 20 laps to go. It's time to boogie, baby. Let's party. Get this race going here.
You beat me to it. I was going to ask you. I knew what time it was. I feel like Morris Day in the time. What time is it? All right. John Holcomb out in front. What I think it is time is I think it's time for Donnie Moore to start taking matters into his own hands. You know, this is really rough because the race stewards don't like to see dirty racing, but I mean, this is short track racing USA. You know, if you're not bumping somebody, you're not trying hard enough.
Well, it's over aggressive driving that they won't tolerate. Good hard racing is tolerated. So I have faith in the race stewards and their ability to make the right call in the closing laps of this race. But the review team here at Bootleg Racing, they've got a pretty good history of making the right call.
And so much depends on the talent of the guy you're trying to move out of the way. I think Donnie Moore feels pretty comfortable. If he gives Tim Knott just the right amount of push, Tim will be able to maybe move up and not lose it. I know when guys are racing me, they're always scared to give me a tap because I don't have the skill to control it. I'm going to turn the thing, they're going to pick up a penalty. So right now, Donnie Moore, I bet you Moore will almost say, here I come, get ready, get ready, Tim. 15 to go.
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if Neff is starting to lose the handle on that car just a bit. He's starting to kind of diamond off the turn a little bit more. I don't think it's turning the way he would like down on the inside anymore. It could open a door for J.R. Shepherd. Donnie Moore just up ahead of them, pressing the issue just a bit. Still reminding Tim Knott, hey, I'm here and I'm ready to take you out if I need to. So here we go. Yes, the race, we're almost here at 10 laps to go, and I just keep wondering what's going to happen here. Donnie Moore really in a great spot to make a run or a move on Knott, but is he going to pull it off? We'll see.
The good news for the leaders is the cars farther back have kind of single-filed themselves out and have nice intervals between them. So we're not missing anything back there. The real battle right now is second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm watching J.R. Shepherd. He's trying a number of different attacks at Neff here to try and find a way around him, get a run somehow on him to maybe just get him off his game. But it's not working. Neff is staying steady and seems to have kind of got the car back under him. So maybe he was just taking a couple laps off there and saving the tires just a bit. But Neff looks to be back on the pedal and now a threat to Donnie Moore again.
Moore's got to be feeling he's having a case of deja vu. This is the exact position he was in at Martinsville, except it was Lowell Jewell up in front of him that he couldn't get around. He had to follow for most of the race. Here he is again. He's going to give a little bit of a hello. Tim Knott gives a little bit of a boost, but not going to be able to do it. He's got to be able to tap it right in the right spot of the corner.
Sorry, Bill. Shepherd looked to the inside of Neff. They made a little bit of contact. Neff had to save the car just a bit. Neff now going up wide. Shepherd looking to the inside. Can't pull it off. Gives him a little bit of the horn there.
One more, and it looks like Brian's having a hard... Boy, he got that bump, and he had a hard time getting that car back down. 6 to go. The guy who's loving this is your leader, John Holcomb, having a nice, quiet race out in front by 0.8 of a second as he crosses that invisible start-finish line right now. There'll be 5 to go.
Donnie Moore is in line right now to get his third place finish of the evening. That's the big sombrero. I think the hat trick, if you will, of third place finishes tonight. He is holding down third place. Neff, the real battle right now is Shepherd. Shepherd really working on Neff, working really hard. He knows how many laps are left, and Neff doing everything he can to just hang on to the car, trying to keep it down low. But I gotta imagine he's got a handful of wheel. Car slides up there just a little bit in front of Shepherd.
The front three have spaced themselves out a bit, so we're watching this battle now. Neff ahead of Shepherd, and also getting in here, Mike Holloway has come back in to join the party.
Oh,
2
no.
laps to go.
No, the caution's out. What happened?
Joe Marks got in. Joe Marks looks like he was involved in something with Philip Temples. We'll go to replay real quick before we call the finish. Let's see what you see there, Sean.
Looks like Joe Marks, maybe a little bit of contact there with Phil Temples. But let's get back to the action here real quick because that's going to end our race, Bill.
So the man on fire goes wire to wire. That's John Holcomb. in that number 69 machine. Hey, look at the sponsor on there. How about a little victory for the Lawrence Towing GSRC machine? Nice to bring that in as he crosses the transparent start-finish line to get the win. Tim Knott in second, Donnie Moore in third, Brian Neff in fourth. This looks like the order that they've run for most of the race.
You know,
Shepard in fifth.
Neff winding up with a pretty good run, considering he had to start back there in seventh. He was able to make up spots and come away with a great evening. That's going to slot him in the middle of the field next week. So have a little bit better starting position, and I'm certain that's going to be a great points night for him. But John Holcomb, really the class of the field tonight. That Lawrence Towing SK Modified put on quite a show for us tonight. I just love that new paint job on that car this season. Our thanks to John bringing that to us this year. That is definitely a great car to watch as we see him here get ready to do his little bit of victory celebration here.
And while the victory celebration goes on, we're going to take a little celebration of our own while we go to break. We're going to be back really quick, though, so don't go far away. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel, and you're watching the Bootleg Series Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modifies. We'll be back in a few. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel, and you're watching the post-race coverage of the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series, powered by the Bootleg Racing League. And we had another nice one that we just wrapped up here, round 2 from Oxford Raceway. One yellow flag only. And bringing it home, our second wire-to-wire victory this season goes to John Holcomb. Following him the entire way was Tim Knott. Using the very, very gentle chrome horn on Tim Knott was Donnie Moore, but it wasn't enough, and Moore's going to come home with his second third place of the season. Brian Neff rounds out the top 4 positions with J.R. Shepard in 5th. Mike Holloway in 6th, Jeff Sharp in 7th. 8th goes to Lowell Jewell. Matt Hoos, our pre-race interview, comes home in 9th. Now here's the important spot, and we want to see this guy next week. Mike Mahoney picks up. First of all, Mike, you got yourself a little prayer candle because I mispronounced your name last race, and you're going to be starting on the pole next week, so make sure you're back here when we come back for round 3. Sean, why don't you wrap out the rest of the field?
I'll do it. Joe Marks goes all the way from starting up front there to 11th place. Phil Temple's 12th. Chip Dickert 13th. Ralph Connor 14th. And Chris Wilson, unfortunately with some connection issues tonight, going to finish up 15th. 15-car field. Pretty good evening of racing, but the man of the hour to talk to is John Holcomb. John, what a great race! Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks, Sean. Lawrence Towing SK Modified sure ran great tonight.
It really did. You seem to be pretty hooked up. You did great on that one restart. You got off really well. Knott was putting some pressure on you, but he lost it late. Maybe use that car up just a little bit.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I was trying so hard to save tires through that whole thing, man. It was it's tough to do on that track. That track will eat your tires up so fast. It's not funny.
Bit of a cheese grater out there, isn't it?
Sure is. But hey, Tim and Donnie, those guys ran a great race, and they kept the pressure on me. I just had to hold my line and hit it right.
Hey, I talked about the paint job on the SK Modified this year, this season. Man, it's really hot. Love seeing that Lawrence Towing sponsor on there and GSRC on the front end. I know you got to be pretty proud of that, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm really proud to be able to get the Lawrence Towing SK into the winner's circle for Lawrence Towing, our new league sponsor, and sponsored my car. So I'm glad to be able to get a win for them.
Well, I'm certainly glad one of the Lawrence Towing tow trucks didn't have to put your car up on the hook tonight, buddy. What a great race. But next week, that's going to slot you back the back of the field, man. And what do you think about having to pull that off?
Well, to be honest with you, I guess that'll have to be worth it to get the win. You know, it's my first win in the SK Mods with BRL, and just glad to do it for Lawrence Towing, and I'll have to just try to come from 10th next week.
Yeah, and you'll do it at a fun track, the return to Southern National Speedway. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, my friend.
I am too. Thanks, Sean.
All right, that was John Holcomb, our big winner tonight, and boy, what a victory by him. I think Soup has caught up with Tim Knott.
I do. Tim, congratulations. We have Tim there? Yeah, we do. Tim, congratulations on the second place. Not sure what we can talk to you about here. It was either chasing down the leader or getting a few little taps from behind. First of all, let's go ahead and talk about Donnie Moore's treatment of you there. It was pretty kind, we thought.
Yeah, it was okay. I'm good with what he did. We're fine. He told me my back bumper was still in one piece.
He said hello to you a few times, but sometimes it looked to me, now please correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I honestly thought some of the bumps he gave you actually got you a little closer to Holcomb.
Yeah, a few times there I tried to make a run at John, but he just had a little bit more for me than I had.
So what were you thinking? How did were you ever in jeopardy of drifting up high? Did the tires hold on for most of the run?
No, that was my main goal, was to save the tires. They stayed okay.
All right, now let me tell you, I'll just real quickly. I just hate this track. It just annoys me to no end. How do you feel about this unique race course?
I feel the same way. I can't believe I even finished in the top 5 tonight.
Good. Misery loves company. Well, let me tell you, this is going to help you in the points. Good news, you finished second. Bad news is with this inverted 10, you're going to be starting way back when we come around for round 3. So good luck in the future. Let's see if you can pick up a few spots when we go for round 3.
We're going to work on it. We'll be here.
Tim Knott, your second place finisher today. Sean, you want to see what Donnie Moore has to say about following Tim most of the way?
Yeah, I do want to talk to Donnie. I want to ask him what the view out of the front windshield looked like for him. Tim Knott in front of you all evening, sir, and looked like you were giving him the business every opportunity you had, but doing it in a rather reserved and nice kind of way. Yes.
Yes, that's a good description. Yeah. No, he was solid. He didn't make any mistakes. I tried to tap him out of the way there. Tried to make him a little squirrely to get by him, but he was solid and he held his position. Really, congratulations to him and John Holcomb too. I know John's tickled to win this thing for Lawrence Towing, our new sponsor, so that's great.
Well, Donnie, I don't know if you're aware of it, but you pulled off the big sombrero this evening there with 3 third-place finishes this evening. A lot of time on the podium, sir.
That's good. Well, that's typical of what I try to do. You know, just try to be consistent. So 3 for 3. That's consistent.
I would say so. Next week we we go to a really fun track in Southern National Speedway. Going back there again. Give us your thoughts about heading to that track.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think most of us do love that track. Some side-by-side racing, so it should be an exciting racing. So I'm excited for that. Hey, thanks to Bootleg Racing to make all this possible. This is a great thing. Look forward to it every Saturday night. And thanks to my sponsor, SPCA. It's great for me to have a voice for the animals, have your pets spayed and neutered.
And that's why I always love getting you in the booth, my friend. It's always good when Donnie Moore is up on the podium because we get a chance for you to talk about that sponsor. And thank you so much for supporting the ASPCA. And Donnie, safe travel to you, my friend. We will see you next week at Southern National.
Thanks so much, Sean. Thanks, guys.
Well, Sue,
Yep.
That's another great race and, another great guy there in Donnie Moore.
Absolutely, and a great cause that he has there on his car. Okay, let's go ahead and thank the title sponsor. That's Lawrence Towing. They service Lawrence, Indiana, and the neighboring communities. You know, on a personal note, my sister-in-law Marilyn lives near Lawrence, Indiana, and one night she was driving home from the Still supply store, and she swears she saw a flying saucer. I don't believe her, but that's what she swears. Anyway, while she was reaching for her cell phone to record the phenomena, she veered off into Frank and True LaCorey's mailbox. The dang thing bounced right up, came right through Marilyn's windshield. Well, you know what she did? She called Lawrence Towing, and in 10 minutes, not only did the driver have her car up on the flatbed, but he also went over, pulled the mailbox out of the front seat, and went over, put the dang thing back in the hole, and stamped it right back down as good as new where in the original hole. So that's the kind of extra mile service you're going to get that you can expect from Lawrence Towing. And remember their jingle, when you find yourself in need of a tow, Lawrence Towing is the way to go. Also, we'd like to thank the Bootleg Racing League for organizing the Outlaw Modified Series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. For more series information about the Bootleg Racing League, try facebook.com/Bootleg Racing League or bootlegracingleague.com. That should be easy to remember. Fans can read weekly race recaps written by Chris Wolfson at iRacing News and virtualgrip.net. Chris Wolfson, nice job. We saw him in the race today. Hey, thanks to the companies and the equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use for the broadcast. The original music, come on, if you haven't downloaded something from Eric Eckelman and Casey Lalonde, what are you waiting for? You can see the screen for how to contact them. You won't be disappointed. Hey, thanks to my mic mate, Sean Crackers Ambrose, our director, Joe Peak, Dougie Beard for his camera locations. If you'd like to find more about GSRC, you know where to go. It's GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Get this, pay attention, the Bootleg Modified Series returns next week. That's July 24 for the Virtual Grip 100 at Southern National Speedway. For more information about GSRC, like I said before, go to GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. And now that the housekeeping is out of the way, we're going to go off and have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.